Alright, welcome back everyone. Like I said, this video I decided to split into two parts. So we have the thrift haul that Liv and I did just before this, and then this is like a discussion format where we're talking about performing femininity and reframing your gender performance to be for yourself rather than for other people. So without further ado, please enjoy the video. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Liv for being in the video with me. Video, and then Liv and I are going to have like a little conversation similar to what I usually do on my channel, and we're going to talk about performing femininity. And we were having an interesting conversation about like when we as women like perform femininity or like present femininely, like wearing makeup or like feminine clothes or anything, about thinking about like who that's for, like if it's for yourself or for other people. And we were talking about it in the context of makeup, but I feel like it's really relevant to like clothing and like style in general. Yeah. This is not a very feminine piece of clothing, but I don't know.
Your sweater, the dress,
Yeah, and so it's like, here I am like buying these like feminine clothes, and you know, I have so many t-shirts already. I could like spend every day of my life wearing a t-shirt, and that would be like normal and like acceptable, and I don't know, like there wouldn't be anything wrong with that, but I have like a strong desire to like buy more feminine clothes and to get like a feminine like wardrobe for like the upcoming season, and that is just like,
is that like new?
That's like, yeah, like last year I just wore t-shirts and like sweaters, and I had transitioned at that point, but I wasn't that like far into my transition, and like didn't know exactly what I like wanted like stylistically or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And style is something that's going to change too. Like what you think is cute now, you probably won't think is cute in like 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's like something that like a lot of like trans girls talk about when they first start transitioning, is like, well, like there's just kind of like stereotypes about like what early transition trans women wear.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know how to articulate it well, but there's things that people will be like, oh, that's like so like 3 months on HRT, and like when I look back at when I first started transitioning, I like cringe so much at like my style choices back then, which I don't really feel like. Fortunately, I had my friend Missy, who I have talked about before, but she was like really helpful for me to like, she just gave me a bunch of clothes and like gave me like fashion advice and stuff.
Style is like,
yeah, she has really good style.
The cutest clothes.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm getting at is it's like, I'm buying like this like feminine wardrobe, and I have to realize that like it's not because I want to like pass better. I mean, maybe that's part of it, but it's not like I don't want to just look like the archetypical woman for like cis people to like see me and like recognize me as that, even though there's some component of it. It's like I want to look more feminine because that's like how I like to present myself. Like I'm doing it for me.
You feel that way. Yeah. I mean, don't let me speak for you.
No.
But yeah, if you feel like that, then you should want to look like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it like makes me happy and like makes me like more confident too. Yeah, and so I was like talking to Liv about this like, I don't know, like a month ago or something when we were hanging out, and I was telling her about like how I've like tried to like reframe this this like concept of like performing femininity in my mind, reframe it away from doing things for other people, like to doing it for myself. And like I gave her the example of like wearing makeup that day when we were hanging out. I was thinking like, oh, I need to put on makeup today to impress Liv with how feminine I am. And that was just like a subconscious like thought process in my mind. Not that I think that like Liv is gonna like judge me based on like what kind of makeup I'm wearing, but then I had to like actively like take that thought and then like break it down and reframe it like, no, wait, I do want to wear makeup today, but it's not because I'm trying to impress Liv, or like Liv will like think anything differently of me of it. But I want to wear makeup because I feel more confident in like social settings when I know that I look the way that I want to look, and I've like cultivated my aesthetic by like wearing makeup. So reframing that I've been like actively trying to do that recently, and it's been really helpful for me, I think. And Liv, you could really relate to that, right?
Yeah, I feel like you said it so well already, but I also have had those experiences where I will catch myself thinking like, oh, okay, I need to make sure that I plan time to put on makeup before I go to this event. And it's like, wait, why do I think that I need to wear this makeup for XYZ? Like, I've put the emphasis on the external factors instead of like, well, I want to put on makeup because I think it'll do this, blah, blah, blah. But I think you just said it really well. Like, it's not about, it's just the reframing of maybe partially it is an external thing, especially in your case, but it's like, I think I'm getting lost in my words, but it should just be more reframed for what you want. And
yeah, like that's
feel.
the more important part.
Yeah, and reframing it is just such a healthy word to describe the situation, because it's not like you're wrong for wanting to, like, not like you need to impress me, but like, it's not like you're wrong for wanting to impress someone or want to be perceived a certain way, but it's like at some point, you've just got to make those decisions for yourself and let the perceiving happen, because you're not in charge of that anyway. So I feel like that has been the biggest thing for me to recognize, is like, it's like not in my control anyway, even though I might think it is, putting on makeup or a certain outfit or something. Maybe I am perceived a certain way and I feel like I'm controlling that in a way, but at the end of the day, those people that you're trying to impress still go home to their own life with their own thoughts and their own perceptions, regardless of whatever you did. So it's like, for me, when I'm definitely ranting now, but yeah,
that's the whole point of this.
Right. I'm like not
just keep going. It's fine.
When I figured that out, and I'm still learning it, but I feel like that's so crucial for me deciding what I want to wear that day and like how I want to look, or like what style I choose, or what makeup I do. Like, yeah, that's like the crucial bottom line for me.
Yeah, and I feel like, well, it's like kind of a subtle thing to like reframe it, like we said, but I feel like it also like affects my decision-making process significantly.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, can you elaborate?
Yeah, like, I feel like there's like, when I'm thinking about it as trying to like meet the expectations of other people, that will sometimes, even if like there's a situation where I would want to wear makeup regardless, like whether it's for myself or for other people, there are also situations where I don't even really necessarily feel like I need to wear makeup for myself, but I still feel like there's like the pressure from like the outside world, and like there is like that pressure, like social pressure for like women to be feminine, but also a lot of it is like just in my head, I feel like, and it's like this feedback loop of like when I like wear makeup or like present more femininely, then I feel better about myself, and also in my case, like I pass better, and then like I get like treated the way that I want to, or just I like have experiences out in the world that I want to, and then that like reinforces to me like, oh, that's what you need to be doing, like you need to do this. But really, it's like not so strictly about like presenting femininely all the time and like needing to like wear makeup or needing to like dress femme. It's more about like my confidence and like comfort in myself. And so I need to recognize that there are like situations where I don't even really necessarily need to like wear makeup or like dress super femme or whatever. I just need to like be like confident and comfortable in myself. And if I can achieve that through presenting more femme, then that's good. But also like I don't need to like really stress out about like making sure I have like enough time in my day to like do like my makeup and like shave and like put a whole outfit together and stuff. If I can just be like confident and comfortable enough in myself already, even without going out of my way to put like a whole feminine look together, then that will essentially have like the same effect. And it just ends up like being like more pressure that I put on myself than I ever even needed to. Like I just need to be confident and comfortable.
Yeah. I can sort of relate to that too, because I feel like once I started reframing and recognizing that it was for me, which sounds so much easier than the whole process was to figure out, but as soon as I feel like I did figure that out, it was so much easier for me to like put together what I wanted to wear that day, or like get ready faster.
There's less stress and less pressure.
I like wasn't thinking about all the possibilities that other people might be thinking about, even when they probably aren't, because it's probably just in my head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I feel like I had something else I was going to add to that. I think there absolutely is an expectation for women to appear more feminine, but I recently cut my hair, and I had really long hair. It wasn't as pretty as Vera's.
Oh,
it
come on.
was like straight, but I like curly hair. So, but I like recently cut it all off, and I've like never felt more feminine with my short hair. Like I feel so much more girly and femme, which is like kind of ironic because I feel like a feminine style is typically really long, blowout kind of hair. I don't know what that's about. Like if I'm just focusing more on accessories, makeup, or something, that maybe that's making me feel more feminine. But it's almost like my body itself feels more feminine because there's more focus on my body instead of something external like my hair. You know, external is not the right word, but just like accessory wise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of hard to describe, but really, like I've never felt more like a woman with short hair. You know?
No, yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like it's maybe there's like something of like a contrast there.
Yeah.
And just like general like if you don't just, not that you were doing this before,
Yeah.
but like
No, you're good.
as opposed to like hitting every like archetypical like marker of like masculinity or femininity, then that's just kind of like, you know, simple and like a rather like vanilla gender performance. But if you have some aspects of your style that are like gender non-conforming, then that like draws all the more attention to your gender performance. And then
That's fair. Yeah.
yeah, and like in this case, you still have like a really femme style,
Yeah.
even though you have short hair now, and it's like that like single like gender non-conforming aspect like highlights like your more femme features, I think.
That explains it so well. I don't know how you did that, but
I think about gender a lot, Liv.
and style and stuff. Yeah, that is extremely accurate. Like I think I was trying to say that when I felt like my body felt more feminine because I had less hair.
Mm-hmm.
Like my hair almost masks it all, and now I'm like even more. Yeah, you said it really well.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's exactly how it feels.
Yeah, and the other thing that I wanted to mention that's related to all of this is how when Liv and I were like talking about this in that conversation that we had before filming, it was making me, and this is something that I've been thinking about in general, but it really came to my mind when Liv and I were speaking. I was just realizing how similar experiences that I've had as like a trans woman are to the experiences of like all women, like cis or trans. And you know, if you want to get really abstract with it, like all people in general. But
Yeah.
I was just thinking like there's like a bunch of things that I feel like I experience like because I'm trans, and it's like, oh my god, like my life is so complicated because I'm trans. But really, it's just like everybody kind of has like similar experiences, and they just manifest differently, like cis or trans. Like Liv and I have been talking this whole time about like makeup and like clothes and like performing femininity and like the expectations of that, and it's like that's something that we both experience as women, and it doesn't matter that like I'm trans, like that like affects the way it like manifests for me because like passing is like an element of it for me, but like ultimately we're like experiencing very similar things.
Yeah.
And like Liv was just saying about like feeling her like gender presentation more viscerally when she cut her hair short, it's like I'm always thinking about like the way how I like viscerally feel my like gender presentation, and just like the way like different like elements of my gender like affect how I feel about myself. Like obviously that's something I think about a lot because I'm trans, but that's the thing. It's not even just because I'm trans. It's like everybody can think about that. So
yeah, and I think the way that I have come into thinking about and talking to Vera about all this was more of like women should look this way, and I know you relate to it too, but it was like trying to defy those stereotypes of what women should look like in society and what would be better for, like, what would help you do better in society by looking or presenting a certain way. And it's like, I don't need to be thinking about that when I'm picking out my outfit every morning. You know, that's just carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders for your outfit. Like, it's so stupid.
Exactly. And then that wraps all the way back around to like what we were first talking about of like reframing, like what you want to do with your style should be like a choice that you make to make you feel better about yourself. Not like, I mean, that might be like some component of it, like how you want to come across to other people, but you shouldn't like let that like stress you out and like put so much pressure on you. Like the main consideration you should be having is like how you want to feel about yourself.
Yeah, I like the way you said that, because I feel like so many people will just be like, well, do you like that, or does it make you feel good, and act like it's so easy. But when we really broke down and reframed and figured out where these pressures were coming from, at least for me, and I know for you, that like that is what helped us restructure the way we thought about our wardrobe and our style and clothes. So it is about how you feel and how it makes you feel, but it's also like, where does that stuff come from? Because that's what really helped me deconstruct all of it, instead of just like, oh, well, it makes me feel good. You know, it really helped have meaning and intention to everything.
Yeah, totally. And you know, when I first started like thinking about my gender identity, like at the beginning of my transition, like this was something that like I hyper fixated on for just like a long time, like in quarantine during the beginning of the pandemic. I just like sat in my room and then just thought and thought and thought for like all day about like, oh my god, like what is gender, like what does it even mean, like where do these weird made up rules like come from, like it's all fake, like it's all made up.
Yeah.
And for a long time I thought like, oh, like that's just like an experience that like makes you trans essentially, like if you just like think about gender hard enough, then like that just like breaks down everything of like every little concept about like gender, and that's like something that you would only do if you're like not happy with being your assigned gender at birth and like you're trying to transition. I just thought that that was like a very inherently like trans thing, but like as I've like grown and like talked to more people about gender, especially more women, I realized that like this is something that like affects everybody, and you don't just have to be like trying to transition to like really think about your gender and like how you feel comfortable with it, and like where different ideas in your mind about gender came from.
Yeah. And even with men, I think, I mean, I can't speak for any men, but
yeah, I don't know about men, but
yeah, I feel like it's gender is like the issue when it comes to all of this, because it's like the external expectations of what you should be is the antithesis of having your own style. It's like having your own style and having people tell you what it should be are two totally different things. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure, well, obviously men experience their own version of this with like gendered expectations and such. It's, I don't know, I feel like I haven't, well, I feel like I thought about that more at the beginning of my transition when I was like thinking about how I don't like being a man, and I don't like the like gendered expectations that are put on men. And so I like went away from that only to find myself now like dealing with the gendered expectations of being a woman.
Yeah.
So it's like, it seems like the whole problem in general is just gender, just gender as a concept.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and there are definitely expectations on women and men. Like, I can't speak to the men's. I mean, I could assume from what I've seen in society, but I can only speak to the women's. And I think that's a good circle back to just speaking about what we've experienced as women in society with style and performing that style, whether it's for you or someone else. Yeah.
Well, I feel like we've covered a lot of ground, really breaking down gender roles.
Next problem, let's do it.
Yeah, I think that we just improved society a little bit with this video. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for doing this with me, Liv.
I was so excited. I brought it up a million times to Vera. Like, when are we doing that whole video?
Yeah, I was super excited about it too. I think it turned out really well. I'm gonna get it edited, and then, well, I guess when you're watching this, it will already be on YouTube. But I don't know how long it'll take me to get it up, but hopefully I can get it ready soon, and you all enjoyed the video.
Yeah, I did.
I enjoyed making it. Yeah, we can definitely make another one sometime.
Yeah, we talked about doing one for Halloween costumes, so that could be fun.
Okay, cool. And also, I hope for all of my viewers, I hope that you enjoyed like a little bit of a different format, like with the whole thing, and then like having a guest. I keep mentioning this. I don't know if you've seen it, but I like keep mentioning in every video, like, I'm getting really bored of like the format that I've been using.
Oh, really?
So like,
I haven't seen that yet.
just a little bit. It's just like I keep like doing the same thing over and over again, and I'm like trying to like experiment more. So I was like really happy with this format. So okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you to Liv for appearing in the video.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. That was fun.
Yeah, that was so much fun.